Do you know how, as you get older, people are always saying you need a bucket list of all the things you want to do and the places you want to see before you die? Well, I think as you age, you need something that rhymes with a bucket list. All the things you don't intend to do anymore, all the things you plan to give up. Like, for example, on my rhymes with bucket list, any event that starts at 8 o'clock at night, bucket. If it involves driving on the interstate after dark, bucket. As a matter of fact, I heard something funny the other day that said that when you get 70, friends with benefits, it means at least somebody in your group can still see to drive at night. I thought that was funny. Other things on my rhymes with bucket list, investments that are complicated and fluctuate wildly and keep me up at night. I just don't have the emotional bandwidth for investment excitement anymore. So that goes in my bucket. Um, any kind of project that involves a lot of people and you have to have a long text thread and a lot of discussions and it's really complicated. I can't stand events like that anymore. I mean, they seem like the adult version of those group projects we all hated in elementary school. Somebody's going to think they did too much, and then somebody who didn't do anything is going to bitch about the end result. Just too much trouble. Bucket. Um, Anything that's expensive or complicated to maintain, like a huge house or a fancy car or some kind of appliance you have to be super careful with. At this point in my life, bucket. I really like that Parker Posey quote in The Last White Lotus. She said something like, "At this stage in my life, I just don't think I'm meant to be uncomfortable." I think the sister was on to something there. Anything that's complicated, anything that takes a disproportionate amount of effort, I'm past the point in my life I want that. Now, I can't take credit for this rhymes with bucket list idea. Actually, it was something that President Obama said very late in his term at the DC Correspondents' Dinner, which is kind of a roast where the reporters roast the president and then the president turns around and roasts the press. And he was in the last weeks of his administration, and he said everybody was asking him if he had a bucket list, and he said, "No, I've got something that rhymes with a bucket list." So that's where I got the idea. Credit must be paid. But I think that being older is kind of like being at the end of a presidential administration, or maybe like the last few weeks of high school where you've already taken the final exams and everybody's taking the SATs and they know when they're going to college and you're just kind of coasting. I mean, think about this stage of our lives. I mean, the big tasks are behind us. The big shove is all in the rearview mirror. So we've kind of gotten to the point where we can kind of coast our way on out the door. I mean, that's one of the benefits, I think, of being 70 plus. Bucket, bucket, bucket. So, basically, I think the key to things that annoy you in life is to kind of come up with your own way of doing them. Two good examples. In terms of like the group project, to me, the ultimate thing is the big birthday dinner. And a lot of well-meaning friends come together and they choose a restaurant or a place to toast their friend. And they try and figure out what the friend would like. They try and figure out who the friend would like to invite, try to figure out a good time for the friend or theirs whose birthday it is. Then they plan it. And of course, it's always financially complicated. Who pays for the one bottle of wine? Who orders a bottle of wine and doesn't pay? You try to split it 7 ways. It's just this enormous thing. And I think half the time, no matter how well intentioned you are, you don't even do exactly what the birthday person would have done anyway. So my friend Jenny came up with a brilliant solution. In our circle, when it's your birthday, you host. You choose the venue, kind of like Hamilton. You choose the venue, the menu. What else did he say? You choose the menu, the venue, something else. Anyway, you choose the place. You choose the people. You pay for everything and you host your friends. And then when it's their birthday, they host you and all the way around the circle. And it works out so much better. It has just released the whole birthday stress thing. I mean, it's amazing. It's a terrific solution to that. Or then there's sort of the solution of, um, you know, how a lot of people don't necessarily want to be in a romantic relationship as they age. I did video about that recently, but that they would love to have somebody to travel with. And when I did a walking tour of Tuscany years ago, there was a couple on that walking tour, and he was a retired cop who lived in Boston, and she was a retired realtor who lived in Denver. And they had met online. They were both very highly ranked chess players, and they had met in some sort of online chess tournament and become friends. And they had this great relationship where, he had his kids and grandkids in retirement life in Boston, and she had hers in Denver, and kind of never the twain should meet. But they actually traveled together like 3 or 4 times a year. They would go on these great vacations and be each other's travel buddy. And they seem to be having so much fun, and their whole relationship just seems so relaxed and open. So I think that the secret is you don't have to do it the old way when you're old. When you're old, you have permission to do it the new way that suits you, something that's just easier for you. And if something strikes you as more trouble than it's worth, then, put it in your rhymes with bucket list. So, what about you? What are you ready to say bucket to? It might be sleeping with other people, and I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about just trying to sleep with somebody else in the room. I mean, it's already hard enough to sleep, let's face it, without trying to negotiate somebody else's routines about the light and the temperature and the pillow and the fact that they too probably get up to pee like 15 times in the middle of the night. Or is it baby and bridal showers? Or is it just showers in general? I mean, what is it that you're ready to say goodbye to? Um, Leave it in the comments. I'm kind of curious to see what everybody thinks. This is Kim with Getting Bolder. Thanks a lot.